Hello, my name is Timothytrespas, and I live aboard a boat. A boat I call Salvation. That's it, the background there. But I also have another boat. It's this one here. I haven't painted the name on it yet. I was gonna call it Faith, but anyway, as I was coming over here with this great big piece of styrofoam that I found as flotsam. The Lord sends me stuff in the ocean, and if it's useful, I pick it up. And so this big piece of styrofoam that floats, and if you see down there, the other one, I got a piece of styrofoam floating there, but it used to be almost as big as this piece, and you can see that it's gotten progressively smaller because it's taking all the damage from banging against the wall when the boats, the tide comes in and out, the waves, the wind, and the boats bang around. But I was just thinking about how cool it is, how wonderful this is. My phone is doing stupid things. How thrilled I am to be doing this in my life at this point, because I spent years hanging out in this park way down the end of the place down there and looking at the water. In fact, I had this fantasy I was going to get a barrel or a big piece of styrofoam and put on my bathing suit and jump in the river and paddle my way across to Manhattan. But then I did a little research on it, and I realized that if you go in this water, supposedly they want to take you to the hospital for observation to make sure you're okay if you fall in the water, and that the current is really, really strong. Now I've learned that firsthand, and that if you did try to drift or kick across the river with a piece of styrofoam, you'd have to be in pretty good shape to make it, because it would probably rapidly suck you out to sea, and you would have a lot of explaining to do when the Coast Guard or the fire rescue people finally pulled you out of the water and you said, "Hey, wait, I'm trying to get to Manhattan." Yes, I think they'd definitely take you for observation at that point. Anyway, let's see. It's high tide, so I don't have to climb down any silly, definitely dangerous rope ladders to get aboard. And so sometimes when I have to use the toilet and I'm down here with the boats and whatever, I'll come over here to the other boat to be alone. And this boat is really kind of strangely designed. I don't understand why people do this, but in a boat there's a thing called the bilge, and the bilge is down there underneath that panel in the floor, and it's the lowest point in the boat, okay? And that's where, if any water splashes onto the boat, leaks into the boat, or whatever comes into the boat, it's supposed to go down to the bilge and fill up, and you have a pump in there that pumps it out. So on this boat, the exit hole where the water comes out of the bilge is, let's see if we can show you this. Down here, that's the water, and here's the hole right there next to the water. So I don't know whose idea that was, but basically what happens is when the boat rocks back and forth in the waves, and that little hole goes underwater, and the water goes in and back into the boat, and instead of being pumped out, it's going in. So the other day I had to go to the bathroom so badly, and I'm running to get to the boat, and I actually, there's a rope ladder here, and at low tide, the ladder's in the water now, but at low tide there's several feet after the ladder to get to the boat, because it drops down like 6 feet. This thing is cliffhanger or something. So I'm climbing down the thing and I fall. Now my one rule is always hold on with one hand at least well, you're going up and down in case you fall. And so thank God I was holding on, because I fell. This is the second time it's happened to me, and just missed the water. Caught myself, and then jumped back onto the boat because I had to go to the bathroom, and grabbed the bucket, whatever that was, in the back. Had to empty out the rainwater and jump, pull out the doors, crack, push over, then jump inside the boat and splash. And now I realize, as I'm pulling down my pants and getting the bucket and whatever, that I'm standing in 3 inches of water, and the boat is filling with water. And so I'm like, oh God, you know. So here's the bilge today, right? Here's the door, here's the little thingy. It's really nice wood, and I coated it with polyurethane. And there's the bilge. It's that dark and dreary, dirty, yucky place. And there's a pump in there. And then right now there's only that much water because it only pumps out most of the water, because it only goes to 1 inch. But it had filled the cabin, you know, to here. It was like 3 inches. I'm like, oh boy. So I do my business and you know, clean up and whatever. And so I have to go, because there's no battery in here. I took the battery out of this boat because I needed it in the other boat. It was a deep cycle battery, and this boat's engine doesn't have an alternator, so it doesn't charge the battery, and I needed the solar. I needed it all. So it's on the other boat, and I haven't replaced it with one, because if I put a car battery in here, yeah, it'll work for a little while. I can pump the bilge now and then, but it's gonna die. I'm gonna have to take it out and charge it, and I don't have the thing to get the solar charge controller and the solar panel, whatever. Eventually I'll get one, but so what I had to do, and I've done this a couple of times, is I've turned the generator on. Thank God that it works, and it has a 12 volt as well as 120, and so I run a big long extension cord from the 12 volt, and I've already got this boat wired. You know, from last time I was hooking them together with this wire here. I got this big wire here. This is the kind of wire they use to put you know, 2-phase, 3-phase electricity into your home. Con Edison buries this in the street, and this guy gave me some years ago, and I held on to it all these years until I finally needed it. But it only is like, you know, 50 feet or something. It only goes down the shore, and the boats aren't close enough, so I use this extension cord, and I connect it together, and I turn on the switches, and I got it to pump out the bilge. But you know, who designs a boat that automatically fills with water? That if you're not there, if you're not, I mean, this boat was built in 1966. This boat was born the year that I was born. This boat was built by boat builders, and you know, it's you can see the way I'm walking on it is it's a very rocking and rolling boat, and you know, it's like, whoa, man, you know, but it's also pretty solid. It's a pretty solid fiberglass wood thing, you know. And now in here is the sort of disaster, man. We got this toilet under there, and this holding tank that was built by hand, and it's just a nightmare. I gotta figure out. Anyway, I'm wondering, you know, because I don't know, I'm wondering if maybe I couldn't try to sell this boat. And you know, I don't know what it's worth. The guy gave it to me. It was one of these, I can't sell it, and it's, you know, I gotta go and whatever. And so he gave it to me for $1, and I'm like, yeah, all right, you know, in the water, basically running. A little motor. It was a lot of fun to tool around in this thing because it's pretty responsive and whatever, but I still haven't put up the sail. And the other disastrous thing that happened was in the front, there's this thing called a furling roller, a rolling furler or something, I don't know. It's this thing here, right? And between this thing here and up there, this thing comes off, and you slip a sail into this little slot here. Now, regular sails, they have eyelets, or whatever they're called, clews or something. I don't know, these things that you put this thing through, and they clip onto this wire that's behind here, and you raise it up with this thing. You pull from over there, on the halyards, and it makes this go up and pulls the sail up. Well, this is like a window shade, so the sail fits into here, and then it rolls around. So you got two controls. You got this rolling unroller thing here, and then you got the up and down thing back there, and then you got the regular whatever these are called. And the wind came, and I was looking at it going, you know, I better go over there and fix that. And the wind came. It was like 20-mile-an-hour wind, and wow, 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 and the sail came out of the thing, out of the cover, and started flappy, flappy, flappy. And by the time I got over there, it had already shredded to tatters. So not the whole sail, but you know, here it is. Here, this is the jib, the rolling furler jib, and instead of clews or eyelets or whatever, they have some wire sewn in here, and that wire fits into that thing and then rolls up. The sail rolls up like a thing. But as you can see, the wind did a number on this thing. He told me when he gave it to me that it wasn't in the best condition, but and that he had repaired the sail once. But like I said, I still haven't figured out exactly how damaged it is, because I haven't even had a chance to roll it out on the ground and actually look at the damage and see, can I fix it or not, you know? So